What's up guys, Zach here from the Chaos Galaxy, and today I'm starting an exciting brand new series called Archetype 101s. Now as the game of Chaos Galaxy progresses, I'm going to start introducing more and more archetypes to the game. I've already shown you one, which are the Weathermen. I will probably do an episode of Archetype 101s for the Weathermen, just so I can really get this series going. But this episode will be on the first archetype from the planet Palicium called the Nanorays, and these guys are going to be the basis for the first starter galaxy or starter deck for my game, the Chaos Galaxy, which hopefully I'll finish soon. I have another archetype for the other starter deck, which I'm going to make from the planet Shios. I won't tell you any more on them. I'll just wait until I make the Archetype 101 video for that. But in Archetype 101s, I'm just basically going to show you an archetype and all the cards for it, go through how they work, give you some tips on them, and some recommended cards that go well with the archetype, so you can really get a good feel of how to use them. So let's get started. Okay, like I said, the first archetype is the Nanorays. They're a group of creatures from the planet Palicium, and they're all based off rays and skates and manta rays and things like that you'd normally find in the ocean. I have done some background research on them, so I know quite a bit about them now, just so I can make the cards better. So the first thing you need to know about Nanorays is that they're all quite weak. The most powerful Nanoray that I've made so far is a 3-star, because the planet Palicium is all based off using weak and strong creatures in combination with each other. And they're based around a permanent resource card, which I'll show you in a minute. So the first card is Nanoray Gymnoraus. He's got 110 power and 60 health. He's also a rare, and I'm changing rares now. I used to do them with a sort of glittery name box. However, I'm changing that because when I get the cards actually printed, I won't be able to make them glittery, so I'm just going to make the stars. As you can see here, stars are normally yellow. From now on, for rare cards, I'm going to have their stars the same colour as their planet name, so because this is Palicium, it's got blue stars. Anyway, the first Nanoray Gymnoraus. He's got 110 power and only 60 health, and he reads, when this card is cost played, so if you pay 3 stars to play him in a creature zone, when this card is cost played, you can add 1 Nanoray creature or Ralantis from your galaxy to your hand. So he's really good. He can sort of search out any of the cards that you need. And you're probably wondering what Ralantis is, because it's not a Nanoray, but I'll get to that now, and it's the card in all the creatures in the archetype are based around. So here is Ralantis. I really like the artwork for it. It's based off Atlantis, but it's sort of inhabited by all the Nanorays, as you can see in the picture. Okay, and this is where it might get a bit complicated, because Ralantis reads, when a Nanoray creature on your planet dies, you can attach it to this card as an attachment card instead. So an example in a game of this would be, you have your Nanoray in a creature zone, and you have your Ralantis in a resource zone. When the Nanoray dies, say your opponent attacks it, or you kill it with something, you just attach it to Ralantis like this. And then Ralantis also reads, you can kill 4 Nanoray cards attached to this card to free play 1 Zetaray creature from your hand. Now, this is where things get complicated again, because the Nanorays are like very weak versions of Zettorays, and then Ralantis obviously uses the Nanorays to play your Zettorays. So if you've got 4 Nanorays, let's just pretend these 3 random cards are Nanorays. You kill all these guys attached to your Ralantis, and then you can bring out a Zetaray. And the first Zetaray I've made, and at this point in time is the only Zetaray that I've made, is the cover card for the first starter deck. He's a mythical rare. He's got 8 stars, 400 power and 400 health, and an awesome ability if he's played by Ralantis. He's one of my favourite cards at the moment, actually, and his name is Zetoray Mantalossus. And as you can see, he's got like his red markings are all glittery. So yeah, his artwork didn't print out as well as I would have liked to. I'll show you the original drawing of him, which I really like. And you know, I don't really think the small printed out version does it justice, because he looks pretty boss in that. But anyway, 400 power and 400 health, so he's like one of the best all-round cards I've ever made for the game. He's a mythical rare, and his ability reads, if this card is free played by the ability of Ralantis, so obviously like I said before, you remove your 4 Nanorays, you don't pay any stars, and then you can just play your Zetoray Mantalossus. And if he's played by Ralantis, and if he's played that way, he permanently gains an extra 100 power, so he goes up to 500. And you can draw 2 cards, so that's just ridiculously good. Or, of course, you still have the option to play him normally and just have a massive 400 like powerhouse on your planet. Because sometimes it will be quite difficult to play him with Ralantis if you need 4 Nanorays to be killed. I do plan on making more Zettorays in future. However, I don't think I'm going to put them in the. However, I don't think I'll put them in the starter deck because you know, I don't want too many powerful cards being in the starter deck. Next up, we have another of the Nanorays. This is Nanoray of Mabon. He's only a 2-star and he's got 80 power and 90 health and no ability. He's just a basic Nanoray that can help you add cards on to your Ralantis. Next up, we've got the weakest of the Nanorays, but he's also the cutest and one of the best. He's Nanorays He's only got 40 power and 30 health, but his ability reads, if he's attached to Ralantis, you get 1 point. So you can actually win games off him. And because he's a 1-star, he goes with a lot of the resource cards or attachment cards for the planet Palicium. So he can be helpful. And obviously, you know, it's another card to attach to Ralantis. So these are all the basic creatures I've made so far, and I will definitely be putting in the first starter deck. I'm going to put a lot of creatures that I've already made for the planet Palicium in the starter deck too, some fan favourites. However, there are still more cards to come. So the last card for the Nanoray archetype that I've made so far is Nanoray Nano Stinger, and it's an attachment card. And I believe it's actually the first attachment card I've made for an archetype, which is pretty cool. It's quite a long ability, so bear with me. It reads, this card can only be attached to Ralantis, and it's the first attachment card that can be attached to a permanent resource. And if you have a Nanoray creature on your planet, you can kill this card whilst attached to Ralantis to kill 1 card on your opponent's planet. If the Ralantis that this card is attached to would be killed, you can kill this card instead. So you've got your Ralantis out, you just go, right, I'm going to attach this. So there, it's another 1 for the count of 4 to play your Zettoray. If this is attached to Ralantis, and you say, right, I'm going to play Nanoray of Mabon. Now, because you have a Nanoray on your planet, you can detach this to kill any card on your opponent's planet. Or, if your opponent catches on and realises that you're using Ralantis to try and bring out a Zettoray, and they go and they try and kill your Ralantis with something like a Bolide Comet, which kills permanent resources. They play their Bolide Comet, say, right, I'm going to kill your Ralantis. You can just go, no, I don't think so. I'm going to use Nanoray Nano Stinger instead to just detach it, and my Ralantis is still alive. And you can go on and try and bring out your Zettoray. There are all the cards I've made for the archetype so far, and some moves that you can do with them. I'm now going to get to talking about some tips and tricks that you can do with other cards that work well with the Nanorays. And in this part of the video, I will be showing you some other new cards that I'm releasing specifically for the new starter galaxies. Okay, so the first card is actually the planet Palicium itself. Now, the planet Palicium says you can kill 2 or more Palicium creatures on your planet that have a total of 8 stars or less to free play 1 Palicium creature from your hand that has 8 stars or less. So, obviously, if you're using these cards, then Palicium is going to be your planet card. So you have a Ralantis out and you've got 2 Nanorays, and you want to bring out a big creature. It could be Nanoray related, or it could just be a strong creature from the planet Palicium like Cranchon. So you use your Palicium's ability. You go, right, I'm going to kill my 2 Nanorays, and because they're killed, they get attached to Ralantis instead, so it just speeds up that process. You're going to get a point from Nanoray Zettorays, and then you can just play a Cranchon straight off the bat. And look, you're already halfway to being able to play your Zettoray Mantilossus as well. And if you have these 2 guys on your planet at the same time, I think it's safe to say that you're going to have the upper hand in the game. So that's the first card, the actual planet Palicium itself. Next up is the card Swirlpool, which is a card based off the planet Palicium for set 1, and it says, shuffle 1 Palicium creature with 4 or more stars from your hand into your galaxy, and add a Palicium creature with 3 or less stars from your galaxy to your hand. So, if you have a Zettoray Mantilossus in your hand, and you don't have any Nanorays or a Ralantis, so you could play this now, but you might want to save it until you have Ralantis. You can play Swirlpool, shuffle this into your galaxy, and then add to your hand a Nanoray Gymnorus. And Nanoray Gymnorus, you can play that and it will allow you to search out your Ralantis, or if you prefer you can search out a different Nanoray, and then you can go from there and wait until you draw your Mantilossus again, and then you play it with Ralantis. So yeah, Swirlpool is going to be pretty helpful in this galaxy. Next up is another brand new card, and this card is, I think it might be my favourite card from this video, tied with Mantilossus. It's really cool. It's a brand new creature, especially made for the starter deck again. His artwork doesn't look that great on the card, but I'm going to work on that. The original drawing of him looks a lot better. He's the most powerful common card I have ever made, and his name is the Mystical Beast of the Deep. And here is his artwork, which doesn't look as good as the original picture, which is there. I really like that. Anyway, is a 7-star common creature, which is the first one of its kind. It's got 340 power and 310 health, and its ability reads, when this card is killed by an attack, you can add one other Palicium creature with 6 or more stars, which is dead, and add that to your hand. So you have your Ralantis with its 4 Nanorays attached to it, but for some reason you played Mantelossus earlier in the game and he's already died. So you can play your Mythical Beast of the Deep, it gets killed by your opponent, you add back your Mantelossus, use Ralantis, play your Mantelossus, and he's on 500 power and you get to draw 2 cards. Simple as. Also, you know, this card can be used to add other things like Cranchon or a Diabocadra or some other powerful Palicium creature. The final card that's really good for this archetype is Galaxy Crash, because Galaxy Crash kills every creature on both players' planets. And the only downside of Galaxy Crash is that it kills creatures on your planet as well. But if you have Ralantis out, and you've got some Nanorays, and you've got some creatures on your opponent's planet that you want to kill, you can play Galaxy Crash, kill both your Nanorays, kill all your opponent's cards, and then the Nanorays will just get attached to Ralantis so you can use them later. And again, like the planet Palicium, it's just going to speed up the process of bringing out your Zettoray. So guys, let me know what you think of the Nanorays so far. Let me know if you like the way the archetype works, let me know if you like the artwork, let me know if you hate them and you want to see something different, and I'll work on it. Also, yeah, let me know if you think you prefer these guys or the Weathermen so far. I'd like to get your views on that. But apart from that, I've got nothing else to say, but please like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, I apologise sincerely for my lack of uploads at the moment. I think I'm going to make a video on why I haven't been uploading that much, because I do have some pretty good reasons for it, and I do feel bad because I normally try to upload videos once a week, but it's more like once every 2 weeks now. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for more Archetype 101s. Let me know what you think of this series, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.